Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to speak about difficulties in international dating, and especially in the language barrier.
In communication.
In communication. So let's say that you already met a lady online, through us, on a street, in a bar, whatever, and you went back home, or you haven't met in person yet, and you start chatting. And you're chatting, and all of you have different level of English. For some of you, English is a native language. For some of you, English is like a second language. But 100% for the Slavic lady, English will be the second language. And not recently, I think it's like over the years, there have been like several situations that happening to our clients and the ladies where the lady got like super confused, or the guy was confused with your like translation or meaning, and that caused some sort of a tension, some sort of a problem. How do we know that? It's because they're reaching out to us with
Confusion.
with confusion,
With deep confusion.
and sometimes we hear like we, like a little bit of an emergency. So
yeah.
And we've done many videos where we discuss, you need to be assertive, you need to be a leader, you need to be this, you need to be that, she needs to be that. I do the coaching for them. But we just now realize that the simple problem can be just like in a chatting, in a communication. So we would like in this video to give you advice that you should use while you talking to your lady internationally.
Yeah.
So basically, when I start learning English, we start learning by the first phrase that we've been learning and studying at my school. It was like, London is the capital of Great Britain. Then, there was like a lot of rules that some of you may don't know. It's like all about these tenses and about these phrases, about these irregular verbs and this and that. And now when my max is like learning that, I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't even remember, but I remember how many years I spent learning that. But nobody really taught us any phrases, any interesting
idioms.
Idioms, like it was just
slang.
Yeah. I remember it was Mary goes around. Right,
okay. Merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round. Like when I of course, like if you think about that and when you don't know it and you translate it, it sounds like why Mary is going around.
Not Mary.
I thought it's Mary like a name. No?
No, Mary.
What is Mary?
Mary. I don't know. That also doesn't make
But
any
for
sense.
me, it was like Mary goes, like Mary, the girl Masha,
goes around,
and that. Then that.
sounds like the town.
Tell
town floozy.
Yeah, tell me this cats and rains, cats and dogs.
Raining cats and dogs.
Yeah, I learned it much now, like a year ago. I find out this phrase.
But also, it's also a strange.
There's many different, but they never taught us that, because I guess that the level of English that you can get in Ukraine was just up to that level. Even though I got a certificate that I'm advanced in English, even though I don't think so. But I they don't teach you that. And what we hear a lot, I hear during the calls when I'm I always present when our couples are having a first call. I see that sometimes the guy is saying something and the face of the lady, even though she speaks English relatively good, like that. And I understand that I need to turn on the microphone because she didn't have an idea what he said. But sometimes it's interesting because the guy thinks that she's laughing.
Hang on, why did you turn on the microphone?
I mean, turn on the microphone to translate, because I realized that she didn't get it.
I thought you meant his microphone was off, and that's why she was looking confused.
So and I just turn it stop it, and I just I need to start it on. And sometimes the confusions can be on a simple words, literally simple words. Recently it was that the guy was asking what is your favorite drink, and she said that her favorite drink is limonade, because her English was fine, but some phrases, Ukrainian girls speak with a very Ukrainian Russian accent, and she said limonade, and he said, limonade, what is that? And she said limonade, and he said, what is that? So back and forth, and then I turned on the sound and said lemonade, and he said, lemonade. And it's not because he's stupid, absolutely not. It's just because limonade and lemonade in his mind and his English world doesn't connect it. And there's many things like that. And another funny story was when the guy was talking to the girl, and at the end of the call he told her, okay, I need to get out of here. And so he looked so confused that she literally thought that something happened, and she becomes so worried and so stressed. So he said, I need to get out of here. And so she kind of said,
No,
okay.
he said, okay, it's getting late. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. And
I
it sounded like he's stuck in a box. I've got to
yeah.
get out of this box.
Yeah, and like the lady was saying, like, Luba, can you please check if this guy is okay? Like, what happened to him? Like, was any problem? And when I was trying to explain to him that, and Striker also like kind of was a little bit confused. I said, like, did something happen? Like the house was on fire? Like, why do you need to get out of there? And that is like okay in English, but in Russian, when you translate it, it's just emergency. Like, I need to get out of there. Like, it's just like it's now fast. And there's many things like that.
Yeah, I've actually written some down, and these are ones that I can kind of remember because they stuck out, you know, as because when this happens, I also question the English language. Yeah, like why do we have these such strange sayings? And so one of them I remember when the guy said, break a leg.
Yeah, I don't, what is that?
Who was that? I can't remember. Someone said it. And there was also, that reminded me of another one, which was, I'm just pulling your leg.
I remember that. That was so funny because the lady was like looking at him and she was like pulling a leg, like really, like have no idea. And guys, trust me, like unfortunately, I also like, I mean, of course, by working so many years with American guys, I know that, but there is no way that the girl would know that. Like there's literally no way. And I know that some guys say, but I'm very funny. I want to pull the jokes. I want to pull the leg and etc. Like,
but sometimes the guy gets into a false sense of security when it comes to communication because her English is so good and she can articulate what it is that she wants to say. Sometimes he can sort of become too comfortable and start speaking as if he would speaking with a native speaker, maybe from his own country that has its own set of unusual sayings. Australians are shocking for having like weird sayings about, idioms and stuff like that.
Now, good is that ChatGPT is actually helping with translation of these phrases. When Google before, it was not really. So sometimes it can translate not as an idiom, it was translating as like actual words that she can't understand. Because remember the situation when the guy, I think we were together in the call, and the guy said, what brought you here?
I wrote that one here.
Yeah, and she's like, brought me here? Like she can't.
Yeah, I was the one translating that call. I'm not translating. I was the one listening in on the call, and they were both in Canada, I believe. I think.
Yeah, they was in the same country.
And he was just asking the question. So, what brought you here? What brought you here? And then she was saying, "What do you like? I don't get it. Well, what brought you here?" And he sort of didn't click on that. She didn't understand.
And he was repeating, like instead of explaining, he just was constantly.
Because yeah. I mean, it was like one of his first dates. So he was kind of new to it as well. So it's normal. But when you think about it, it does make no sense if you learned English at a very, from a basic level up. They're not going to throw in there sometimes. It can be referred to as brought to here when you go somewhere. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like the word in Spanish, llevar. I don't know if you already said it. It's like it has literally 15 or 20 meanings, like 15 or 20 meanings, absolutely broad. But another one was funny when the guy said, he said, how do you get around? And the girl was like, it was on my call, and I said,
ask Mary.
Ask Mary. She knows how. Yeah, and so basically there's many phrases like that. And of course, for you as a native speaker,
I want to say some more.
Okay, go ahead.
Another one, I think it was an Australian. He said gutted.
What does it mean?
Gutted. It's like, oh man, you must be really gutted. Or maybe he was gutted. Yeah, maybe he was gutted. I can't remember what it was. He was gutted about something. Like, I'm really upset about that.
I thought that gutted is like.
What you do to a fish when you gut the fish and you take all the bits out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, another one I remember was under the weather.
Yes.
Under the weather.
It's a lot of times like guys using it, but it's not really. It doesn't make sense, right? Under the weather. So what is the weather bad?
And the other one, I don't have to say them all, but was head out. I'm going to head out now.
What it is? I need to go?
Yeah, like it's I'm going to head out. It's such a normal thing to say. Okay, I'm going to head out. I'm heading out now. It's like, what do you mean? What head?
What out? But the thing is that what we're trying to say is that when Stryker said it first time, I was like, no, it's not right. But then I thought maybe.
She said it exactly like that.
maybe it makes sense because Stryker had the recipe for that. So he said that you need to talk to the lady like she's 6 years old, right? Maybe 7.
Well, like a child at first. So what the way to do it is to mirror the way that she is speaking. So when you first start off, speak very basically, basically. Is that a word? Very
Basic.
basic. So speak better than what I speak.
It's his second language, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, and then you will start to pick up her level of English. And if you say something and she doesn't understand it, then you need to sort of pull back a little bit and go, to a younger child. That's the way to do it. Because sometimes, yes, she can have very good English, but she doesn't have all of these slang words or idioms or, shortcuts to say things or, stick the 3 words together to make 1 word. So that's the way that you deal with it, because it can be, it's bad on different points, right? So one point is she may nod and she has no idea what it is that you're saying. On another hand, it may be later on down the track where you may say something and she takes it completely differently. Like it's said in a way, not even making fun of, but just, I can't think of one, maybe something here, pulling your leg. Like that could sound like it's a bad thing. I'm going to pull your leg. It's like, get your damn hands off me, or something. Yeah, I'm going to pull your leg or break a leg. Break a leg.
You will break my arm. You was keep pushing me all the time.
But break a leg. It's like, that's a horrible thing to say to someone after they're about to go and do the performance of their life. And you're saying to them, I hope you end up in hospital. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so what's the point of this video?
And the point of the video is to explain to the guys that sometimes I know that guys have not sometimes, but most of the time, they have a great sense of humor. They have a great personality. And it takes a little bit of a time for you, especially it will work out in a personal meeting. But during the messages, it's sometimes difficult. So it's just easier and safer to keep it quiet, to keep it more to keep it not quiet, but more simple, right? Like simple.
Very simple.
Just like simple, to get to the point, to get an idea. Because I have to admit that the sense of humor, and like Striker think that I have a horrible sense of humor, thank you very much. Because I'm not laughing at his jokes sometimes. That is why he thinks that it is horrible. But the thing
part of it.
It's just different. And so you need some time to adjust. And sometimes it takes years to adjust. And maybe adjustment will come in some sorts and maybe not. But just don't be upset about that or think that she is rude or she is mad or she's whatever, she's cuckoo. The thing is that the problem is that Ukrainians are very hard. They're very direct. And so joking is not really our thing, unfortunately. And I regret it because it's so much fun and so much better when the person is friendly, bubbly, and we're a little bit different. So yes. So you just need to a little bit adjust to that and understand. And the most important, the biggest advice that I want to give to all of you guys, either you do it with us or do it without us, please, and we speak about this in Ascent a lot, do not be goofy. Do not try to to exaggerate your sense of humor by being goofy, because some guys, when they can't express by words or by some jokes what they're trying to do, they start acting goofy. Oh, I'm so clumsy. Oh, they start pulling faces when they do the selfie. That is one of the most unattractive qualities that the guy, adult guy, can show to the ladies. It's very unattractive. So just adjust to each other, just have an eye contact, just make sure that you with your on the same on the same connection, on the same rope, and look at your reactions. And if you feel that she didn't get it, it's okay to explain again. Because I had a couple many years ago, and I remember she was a singer, so she didn't speak English, but she was she can remember everything super fast by ears. And they've been talking a lot. She didn't speak almost nothing. And so I remember they were doing Zoom calls, not Skype calls all the time, videos. And he was like, oh, it's my cat, meow, meow, and he was explaining to her, fork, knife, cooking, and I was, honestly, it was so silly almost, because they've been living in Odessa back then and I was spending a lot of time with them. It was silly, but she remembered, and now they have 2 kids, they live in Texas, everything is great, and she speaks better than I do. So it takes some time, it takes some patience, but the most important is that I always recommend you have to enjoy every step of the way. You have to find something cool and funny and romantic and friendly in every step of your way of dating a lady, and then it will be easy.
And on that point, you should make the communication easy and not stressful. And so if you've learned a language before, there's different levels of languages. So if you can try and stick to what we would call A2, which is kind of like basic English. If you can stick to that, it means that when she reads your message, she gets it straight away. She doesn't have to go, what does that mean? What is that? And then she's got to translate it to see if what it means is what she thought it meant. This is when the communication can feel a little bit heavy and a little bit troublesome and a little bit annoying even. So try and keep it nice and simple so she understands it straight away, so you can keep the conversation flowing over text messages. But we don't recommend doing a lot of text messaging like this.
Yeah, absolutely
Phone
not.
calls,
And
messages,
remember that,
voice messages.
sometimes just make sure that she understands you. But at the same time, difficult advice is that to not ask like too many times, like, do you know what I mean? Or like to make her feel that she doesn't, like that she's stupid. So you need to be a little bit of a psychologist at that matter. And some ladies, they speak English better, somebody worse, but we as a Hard Rocket, we decided that from now on, like we're taking mostly like English speaking ladies, because we see a huge benefit in that. And nobody else is doing that, and we see how faster relationship develops. But remember that even very good English speaking lady may not understand the phrase pulling your leg.
Or Mary gets around town.